This is the third year that I've come to Alaska trying to get a brown bear with my muzzleloader. I don't care what it takes, or how long I have to hunt, or where I have to go. I will get this done.
I gotta tell you, it's not lost on me how much effort has gone into making this hunt happen. You know, the guides are working their tails off. They've flown, they found a bear outside of a den. They've actually found several open dens, but this one shows the most promise.
Tired? Just a state of mind. Yep. Pain is a liar.
Tomorrow we have Don Hardaway coming in. So if the weather will hold, we can get everybody in and we can get hunting, so.
We thought that Don was flying in the next day, but Mother Nature had another plan. As soon as the weather cleared, Jeremy flew in and started shuttling us back to South Fork Camp. The 4 flights took up almost all of the daylight, and the plan was for Jeremy to fly and get the next hunter the following day. But the warming weather melted a lot of the snow on the lower mountains upstream, and the ice that once covered the river was breaking up. And as it flowed downriver, it jammed up at the bend in the river, creating a dam. And the river started to rise.
Icebergs pushing out of the way.
Well, ice out came early this year by about 2 weeks. You know, normally this is an early May occurrence. We weren't really planning for it. You know, overnight the river has risen, the ice flows have jammed everything up. The sloughs are flooded out completely in front of the cabins. The water's encroaching on the cabins. Our only mode of transportation, the Super Cub, water is, I don't know, 12 inches from the front tires. With those 35s, it could just easily float away down the river. So we've got it tied down. We don't know what's gonna happen. It could be 2 hours from now when all this ice blows out. It could be 2 weeks from now. We're literally isolated out here with no way to get in, out, go hunting. Hunting really is the least of our worries at the moment. You know, right now you worry about being able to leave the Alaskan wilderness when you run out of food and water.
We're headed up here to get some fresh snow. The only spot of fresh snow available, we're gonna use it, we're gonna melt it for drinking water. We're gonna fill these totes with these black trash bags, and then we're gonna load the snow into that and take it back to camp and gradually melt it down over today and tomorrow to use for drinking water, because we're starting to run out.
There's a lot of things you can control in Alaska to a point. You can try to have a lot of really good food in camp. You can have nice camp. You can have nice facilities. You can maintain your airplanes really well. And then there's a certain amount of elements that you just have no control over. And that's when the animals pop out, where they pop out, and the weather.
Just watched a couple of trees get knocked into the water from all this ice that's kind of releasing. It's coming down in huge chunks. It's probably 10 or 12 inches thick. So it has a lot of momentum when it bounces off these shorelines. So pretty impressive.
Oh, look at this coming up. It just opened up.
Oh yeah, woo! That's the one we wanted right there.
Yeah, she just busted.
It's funny, we always talk about what normal is, and then it's like, well, this isn't normal, you know. I mean, it's never like this. There's usually 5 feet of snow on the ground, or it's never blows every day for 3 weeks, you know, or it's never northwest wind and snowing for 3 weeks during moose season, you know. But I just realized that nothing is normal. You just have to, you know, in Alaska, you just take it one day at a time. And
Eventually, the ice jam broke free and the river level started to drop immediately. And it wasn't long before there was enough water off of the airstrip that Jeremy could take off and fly back to Port Allsworth and pick up my personal client and the star of this week's show, Don Hardaway.
Here I arrived at Lake and Pen Air, all packed, ready to go. Should be in Port Allsworth about 3:15 or so.
Don took the Lake and Pen Air flight across the Cook Inlet, through Lake Clark Pass, and into Port Allsworth, where Jeremy picked him up and flew him into South Fork Camp in the Super Cub.
Now we're here with guide Jeremy Davis and his family.
This segment of the Adventure Series is sponsored by Super Hides by Marathon Seat Covers. This segment of the Adventure Series is sponsored by Caldwell Shooting Supplies. Innovation defined, accuracy anywhere.
Don, there's everybody.
Well, we just went out to meet the airplane. Don Hardaway's in camp. He's one of my clients that has always wanted a grizzly bear. He came to Alaska in 1969 and was stationed on Kodiak Island with the Navy. And he got a chance to do 2 brown bear hunts out there, but he was never successful in taking a bear. He's gone on other trips in Alaska and he's taken Dall's sheep. He's gone to trips in British Columbia and taken stone sheep, and he's 71 years old.
Yeah, pleasure's all mine. We were a little worried we were about going to be able to get you in here for a while.
Yeah, I got a little bit rough weather.
Yeah.
Well, if you'd have seen the airstrip just 24 hours ago, the airplane was parked at the very end, and the water was lapping at the tires. The rest of the airstrip was underwater. And this was all icebergs, and it broke out and blew through.
Wow.
Good work, Captain.
We actually found a few other spots where we could see tracks and bear activity, and 2 of those spots are actually just back here in the mountains right behind camp.
Oh, really?
And so it's nice that we have 2 spots that we can check out, both of them that have really good potential to be, I mean, they're bear tracks. It's just a matter of if the bear is close by.
So we'll stay here tonight, and
Yep.
we're going to take the 4-wheelers up and...
Yep, I'm gonna go do a little recon on the trail just to see what that's like with standing water and ice and stuff, and then, yeah, and in the morning we'll go.
When Don arrived, the first order of business was to set up a target at camp and have him do some shooting. He was going to be hunting with my Bergara custom rifle, chambered in .338 Winchester Magnum and topped with the Burris 3-15 Veracity scope. As we proved last week, this rifle is more than enough gun to take down big Alaskan brown bear. And Don shot it perfectly. Didn't find any bears, but they found some open dens about 4 miles from here. Bear tracks in the snow around them. So we have to go there tomorrow, because if you fly, you can't hunt the same day. No, I really don't feel like I accomplished a lot. But I know that sometimes you got to burn a day or 2 in order to put yourself in position for success down the line.
We are now getting ready to get on these 4-wheelers, and we're at a base camp here. We're going to drive up hopefully a couple of miles to where we can park these puppies, and then we're going to start hiking up a pretty good sized mountain to where we can get a good viewpoint where we saw some bear activity yesterday, some tracks in the snow. Saw a couple different places where potentially a bear could be sitting outside of his den in the tundra. So we're heading up to hopefully be able to find a bear. It's kind of a little bit of a tougher hunt today because we don't have a specific target. We don't have the sun, but we're gonna make a really good go at it, and I think we have a really good chance of at least seeing something and hopefully being able to kill a bear today too.
Looks like a good day. We've got a good plan, so we're gonna go make it work.
been waiting like 60 years for this bear hunt to come back alive in Alaska.
Not quite.
Well, not 60 years. In 1969, he treated us to a little bit of video last night from his days of being in the service on Kodiak Island, a brown bear hunt with a good friend of his, and I imagine that brought back some memories, but yet.
It got me excited, and I think today's going to be the start of a good hunt.
Oh yeah. Well, hopefully we can fulfill that lifelong dream of getting a brown bear today.
I hope so too.
We'll give it a whirl.
Let's go do it.
By using the quads, we saved ourselves a lot of hiking. The trail was good in some places and flooded with snow, water, and ice in others. We had hoped the trail would take us 2 miles up the mountain, but we were only able to make it about 3/4 of a mile before we had to park at the trailhead and begin our hike. The next few hours was going to tell us a lot about Don Hardaway and what he was going to be capable of.
Well, this is where the hike starts.
So we'll be walking through snow for just a little bit, but then it'll clear off, and then we'll walk this bench, and then we'll just kind of start working our way that way. From what we saw, most of it is clear, but there might be a few snow patches here and there.
I always love your hopefully.
We'll see.
Hopefully.
That's the John Burroughs guarantee.
That's John Burroughs guarantee. Boom. Let's do it.
This segment of the Adventure Series is sponsored by Burris Optics. Find what matters. This segment of the Adventure Series is sponsored by Tribe One Outdoors and their innovative products.
The trail's always an ankle to shin to deep snow.
We'd parked the quads about 3/4 of a mile up the trail and began our hike. The goal was to climb above tree line and get on top of the mountain to glass a valley on the other side, where John and Jeremy had spotted a couple of sets of bear tracks in the alders. Our hope was that we would find a bear near his den. Unlike my hunt, we were climbing blind and without a defined target, but it was a lot better than sitting in camp.
All right, fist pump, here we go. Boom. Do it. We'll go walk up to the dog. I tell you, Don is like 30 years older than me. He's trucking up this hill like it's not here. He's been training out on the islands of Hawaii. It's impressive. He's in great physical shape. That's how you prepare for a hunt like this.
As soon as I learned that I was coming on the hunt, I set up a workout routine where I would put in 6 days a week, alternate aerobic exercise with some weightlifting. I'd change it up. You know, one day I would do jogging, and one day I'd do climbing. And there's no way you can really prepare for a hunt like this, particularly in Hawaii.
The first thing that stood out to me about Don was that he was mentally tough. You can be 71 years old and accomplish anything, any feat. There's people over 70 that have climbed Everest, but there's also people who are 40 years old who can't walk down the street without falling on their face. Don has that mental toughness and that desire to push through obstacles and complete the task at hand. And because of that, I thought that he would be an ideal candidate for the Adventure Series and filming his hunt.
This is brutal up here. Wind is just howling. And we hiked down to where we saw the last tracks from the air. No bears out. I mean, they don't want to come out in sun on a day like this. There's no sun. It kind of went away on us. The weather's just gotten worse all day. So we're gonna look at a few more spots, and then we're gonna head back down to the warmth of the cabins and hope that the weather's a little bit more cooperative tomorrow. These guys are getting ready to pull off the hill, and we've just come off the mountain from a pretty fair day of hiking. It's another extreme nature hike day. No bear sign, the wind's just whipping up top, big storms over in the other valleys. We got about 3 miles on the quads back to the cabins, and that'll complete our about 13-mile round trip for the day. Not the only thing we scored today was a great caribou shed. Well, time to fire it up and go. It ain't no ranger, but it's better than nothing out here. Better let it warm up for a minute.
There's an old saying, yesterday is history, and tomorrow is a mystery.
We just heard the airplane come in and land. John and Jeremy have been out flying for about an hour, hour and 30 minutes at most. Normally they're gone for 2 to 3 hours, sometimes 4 hours. So they're back a little earlier than maybe anticipated. So I think we got a 50-50 chance of good news. Either they went up and flew and found out that it was too windy and the light was flat and it wasn't worth flying anymore, or they found an open den with a bear on it. I'm gonna head over here to the main cabin, meet them up over here. Hopefully we get some good news.
Hey guys,
What is it?
you're probably gonna think I'm joking, but we did not see anything worth doing anything about.
I don't think you're joking. That's just
So-
our luck lately.
We looked at a lot of areas, but man, nothing. Nothing that we hadn't already seen.
Well, obviously that wasn't quite the news we were looking to hear. We wanted to find a bear today, get out there and get after him tomorrow. But when you come to hunt in Alaska, you better bring a lot of patience with you.
This segment of the Adventure Series is sponsored by CVA muzzleloaders. It's just a better gun. This segment of the Adventure Series is sponsored by Camo Restore. Make your camo outerwear last a little bit longer. This time of year, the best way, and really the only way to effectively bear hunt, is to use the Super Cub to fly miles and miles of mountains and valleys looking for a bear that is punched out of a den. You'll see the dirt and the tracks in the snow. Sometimes you'll see the bear, but nothing is certain. It could be a sow with a cub, and sometimes the bears will just take off cross country and disappear. But often they'll hang out around the den for a few days or even a week. And by law, if we spot the bear or the den from the air, we can't hunt for them until the next day. But it gives us a place to start looking, and that is where the hunt begins.
Yeah, so John and I are a good team because he's not, he's not a pilot, so I'm the pilot that tries to get us out to where we're going.
We have a really, really great working relationship because we understand each other really well and we understand our individual roles and what we need to do.
So we're trying to figure out, how are we going to hunt this bear? Should we hunt this bear, or should we just go up here and glass for the day, or should we try to move everybody out and hunt the bear?
I feel like we make a really, really good team because we've worked together for so many years.
Might be good news. Thou shalt not pass.
Are you saying 5 or?
So what'd you see?
Okay, you're probably not gonna believe this when I tell you.
He said this yesterday. He just
I know.
said a doggone thing.
But, the other day when we hiked up to that other den,
Yeah.
there's a den literally 100 yards from that spot down that hill.
Off the backside.
Yeah, off the side into the wind that way.
good news. Well, I like what he was saying about cruising up there on the four-wheelers, you know, and taking that last hike up onto Blueberry. That won't be long from the end of the trail up to onto that next ridge to set up and glass back. So, you know, we got to rest up today. You know, it's always nice. If you stretch your legs out and you do a big climb one day, it's good to rest it for a day. We'll be stronger tomorrow, and yeah. Well, here's the deal. Yesterday, the guys went flying and they found a fresh bear den. One that literally opened up within hours of us leaving the mountain the day before, within 100 yards of where we were. So, we're going back up the mountain and we're gonna find that bear den.
Feel good. It's exciting this morning. Got perfect weather. We've seen some tracks not too far from camp, and it's going to be it'll be a pretty good climb, but there's a good chance that we're going to see a bear today.
I'm sure we will see a bear today. Whether or not it's a sow and cubs or whether it's a bear that we try to stalk remains to be seen. But we're going to drive up here a little ways and then hike for a ways and sit up on the mountaintop for a couple hours, and hopefully we'll find a bear that we want to shoot.
Jeremy had gotten up earlier than everybody else and decided he was going to go ahead and climb up the mountain and go see if he could find that bear from across the valley. Today's plan was to ride the quads up about a mile, park them and hike up onto a place called Blueberry Hill across the valley from the bear den. This would give us a vantage to glass and locate the bear from. Then, if we located him, make a stalk. So we fired up the quads and we headed up the trail. But we hadn't got a half mile before we ran into Jeremy, where he flagged us down and had us shut down the quads.
Wind's coming in from the west. And as soon as I pulled up my binoculars, this bear standing there in the alders. So, and then it walked over and laid down, was making a bed and rolling around. And I was just thinking, well, maybe there's little cubs, you know, because it hadn't really moved around much yet. But as soon as the Honda start, the bear gets up and stands on its hind legs and looks towards camp and like that. And then it just walked. There's a Christmas tree right there, that one you were talking about, perfect shape. And it walked over about 20 feet towards that tree and then laid back down again. And then it laid on its belly and was laying in the snow.
He's like, got the water. I didn't realize I could hear it so far up there. No wind, it's still. You can hear everything today. Patience pays off. The more you work at it, the better it's going to be. The sweeter the victory.
Excitement continues. We're ready to go.
One of our camera guys had to head home early, so today I'm a cameraman.
At this point, I don't know if we're going to get this bear, but we know he's up there. We have no idea what's about to happen, but we're going to make it happen.
Heat already.
The bear is up over the top of the left side of that knob in the background. We were standing right there 2 days ago and he popped out the very next day or maybe that night. We're about 2 miles above the quads. Don, at 71 years old, is crushing this hike. He's like hitting it in stride. At 71, I hope I can do it. And he's jogging it out. It's awesome.
This segment of the Adventure Series is sponsored by Bergara Rifles. Our barrels make the difference. Get the new Steve's Outdoor Adventures app for your smartphone or tablet. New features include an expanded selection of videos and the all-new bragging board, where through the app you can upload your photos and share your hunting stories. And winners are selected weekly and receive sponsor gear as prizes.
A lot of country between us and him. all day. Do you think we ought to wait until he comes out before we go over?
Well, we'll go over here and look for, you know.
Oh, from that knob right there.
Yeah.
If you look back that way, you have a lot bigger view. He could still be laying in a little hole.
Yeah, right. Sure.
Jeremy had climbed up the hill and spotted this bear earlier in the morning, so we knew he was over there, and there were no tracks leaving the hillside in the snow. He was probably just laying down in the alders, so we all got out our binoculars and spotting scopes, and we started glassing the hillside. We're picking it apart. And this is a beautiful day. It's sunny out, and it's getting warmer, and in weather like this, it's just a matter of time before that bear gets up and starts moving around and enjoying that sunshine. Well, all of a sudden, there he was. He started walking across the hillside in the alders. We got a great look at him, but as quickly as he had appeared, he disappeared into another patch of alders.
I'm really glad that I did what I did to prepare, because it was a grueling couple of hikes and climbs that we went through. If I couldn't have made that, the hunt would have been unsuccessful.
This is what's commonly referred to as post-holing, and it sucks. Even the camera guys post-hole.
Come back down here, I may come down even if I see him. I'll let you know if I see him.
We're like a half mile from the den, right through there. The setup's perfect, sun at our backs, wind in our face. If the bear cooperates, it'll be perfect.
If Jeremy sees him or something, put your white coat up in the tree. If you see him, put his white coat up, and then I'll at least know.
Okay.
John decided he was going to climb up on the next highest hill so he could get a better angle and glass into the brush where we'd last seen the bear. He was gone about 30 minutes before he came back and said he thought he knew where the bear was, so we climbed up that mountain, set up the spotting scopes and the phone scope adapter, and started zooming in and filming the bear and taking a real close look at him. And sure enough, it was a big boar.
I'm sure it's just stone cold, just totally still up there. The bear is. Like ever since that plane flew over.
Yeah.
That's right when I first spotted where it was. I mean, it's just in the middle of the thick alders. It's just like a little bit different color than the surrounding. So I just was watching it for literally since then for 20 or 30 minutes. And I never could see it move, but I could see that it changed positions.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, it's
How far from the den is it?
it's down and to the left.
I see him.
Head up and looking around.
He's just
So,
yeah, I see him.
so you see where, if you go to the left of the den, there's the trees, and then to the left of that Christmas tree, there's a big patch of kind of brown in the alders there.
Yeah.
It goes from, it kind of pokes off down to the right. I mean, I can't even see him with my binoculars, but.
Moving around. Boy, he's blended in, isn't he? We've been looking 2 hours or more, 3 hours.
Oh gosh, yeah. I think this could be a new world record. We're looking at a giant brown bear over here.
He's excitable. Youth. Youth.
We found the bear, we know where he's at, and now it's time for us to make our move.
Walking left.
had the bear in sight, and now we needed to get down off this hill, across the valley, and within rifle range. This is where the hunt started to get hard, because we had no idea what we were getting into down there.
This segment of the Adventure Series is sponsored by Camo Restore. Make your camo outerwear last a little bit longer. Get the new Steve's Outdoor Adventures app for your smartphone or tablet. New features include an expanded selection of videos and the all-new bragging board, where through the app you can upload your photos and share your hunting stories. And winners are selected weekly and receive sponsor gear as prizes.
Bottom's nasty. The bear topped out. This can be a tough one. Still a ways though, long ways. Long ways, but doable. It's not as far as you think. I would think 300-400 to the top. Yeah, he popped over the top when we were down in the bottom there. He's just meandering around. He definitely doesn't know we're here, but he's just meandering. So he potentially could come back over towards us, or he could show up pretty close quarters. So we're gonna kind of be on alert. We're about 400 yards from the top, and anything could potentially happen. So I think he's gone over the other side, but we'll see. Hopefully he's far enough that we don't spook him.
Yeah, we got about 1,000-foot vertical climb to get up there.
Yeah.
The valley was further across than I thought, and the bottom was full of deep, soft snow and thick alders that grabbed at everything. It took us forever to get across that valley. And to make it worse, as we had started across the bottom, we watched the bear get up and walk up over the top and out of sight. Now we were going blind again. Once we got across the valley, the steep hillside on the other side was covered in frozen snow and ice, steep and slippery. We earned every step, climbing slowly and on faith that when we got to the top, we would find the bear somewhere on the other side.
This segment of the Adventure Series is sponsored by Super Hides by Marathon Seat Covers. This segment of the Adventure Series is sponsored by Caldwell Shooting Supplies. Innovation defined, accuracy anywhere.
We've crossed this big valley, and we've climbed a steep, snowy, icy hillside, and now that we're up on top, we're really close to where we were just 2 days before. The first thing we did was have Don go ahead and chamber around, because this bear, he's right here in front of us somewhere. We know it, we can feel it. And we're inching forward and going slowly and glassing everything. This is gonna take a long time. We just know it, that bear is right here somewhere. Nothing is certain in free range and fair chase hunting, nothing. But Don Hardaway is 71 years old, and 71 is 71, and he's doing great on this hunt. But this is his second major climb in 3 days, and I don't know how many more days like this he might have left in him. So there's a sense of urgency amongst all of us to find this bear and make it happen right now. As we moved forward, we were glassing the opposite side of the valley, and we realized that there were no bear tracks leaving. So we knew that this bear was somewhere right in front of us, bedded in the alders. There's a quote that I remember that reminds me of what happens next. Only he who can see the invisible can do the impossible. A guy by the name of Frank Gaines said that, and it totally fits what happens next. John spotted this bear laying down in the alders across the valley from us, and all he could see was a little tuft of hair. And then all of a sudden a paw came up, and then he saw it roll around a little bit. But this is nearly invisible. It took me over 30 minutes to find it after he showed it to me. But now that we had found the bear, we knew exactly where it was, and this is the exact moment that Don Hardaway has waited 46 years for.
Okay, so we're at 250 right now. So we just gotta sneak through here. We need to be quiet and going through there. If something happens, then we'll just bust it down to the bottom and set up. Okay, and it'll be like 210 yards or something. So we'll move slow, but make sure that we want to try to, be purposeful.
It was decided that Ian would go with John and Don and cut the distance in half. They wanted to get within 150 yards of this bear, and I was going to go ahead and set up the video camera where we were at and film the bear from our vantage point. And then once they got down there within rifle range, they get Don all set up in the backpack with a solid rest, and then John would do some predator calling to get the bear to stand up and walk across the hillside. What do you know? It worked.
Lay down here. I'll give him a call. You're going too far to the right. Look at that patch of snow with the dot in it. Do you see that? You feel good? Okay, we're gonna call him. Stone cold ground. Just take the first shot that you like, okay? We got time on this. Just moving slow.
This segment of the Adventure Series is sponsored by Tribe One Outdoors and their innovative products. Give my office a call. I will personally take your calls, answer your questions, and help you book the hunting or fishing trip of a lifetime. I had a front row seat. I got to watch the bear stand up and come around the hillside, and I knew that he was about to offer Don the perfect shot. And I knew exactly what was going to happen next.
Okay, reload. Okay, he's going downhill. Just look right down below there. He's stopped in the snow a little bit. If you can see him at all, just shoot him. Okay, hold on. Okay, I see him. No, it doesn't look like he's moving. He's moving a little bit. All right. Make sure your safety's on.
John, he is a world-class guide. I was really blessed to be able to have a guy like him by my side.
Congratulations. That is a long day of hunting. Oh, wow. That is a long day. Oh, man.
Makes it all worth it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Hey, look how beautiful it is, too.
Oh, man. Yes.
How many years you been trying for a bear?
46. Hadn't really hunted bear since the first time, 46 years ago. Decided it's time to get one. Just one in a lifetime, that's all I need.
You like the wolf house? Dude, that bear was good up.
We got her done. We
Wow.
got her done, didn't we?
We did.
You for this beautiful animal and for the harvest of this beautiful bear. Lord, I want to thank you for this beautiful place, this wild place that you have allowed us to come. And thank you for this bear. In Jesus' name, amen.
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 Well, you know, I felt a lot of excitement this morning when we got up. The day was clear, the first clear day we've had,
Perfect weather.
and we knew that there was a bear over here somewhere, and it was just exciting.
I tell you, this is an awesome hunt. I feel blessed to have been a part of it. I'm just proud to have been a part of it, and I'm glad that I could be here to help you realize a 46-year dream of getting a brown bear. And I want to thank you for being my client, my friend, and for letting us follow you with the video cameras, because that's what the Adventure Series is all about. Memories, adventures, and things that stay with you for a lifetime.
Well, thank you, Steve. It's been a great adventure.
Well,
I've really enjoyed it.
we got a lot of bear to take care of here. We got a long ways to go, and we've run out of daylight. The memories of the Adventure Series.
I felt like the good Lord blessed me because that was a beautiful, beautiful bear, a nice trophy, and something that I honestly didn't think I would ever have the opportunity to take. A couple of years ago, my youngest brother, Barry, became ill with leukemia. He and I developed a bond we had never known. He's 14 years younger than me, and so we'd never really been real tight, but we had always been close. About a month before the hunt date, he passed away. And I'd just like to dedicate this hunt to Don Hardaway and in his memory. As he was a good brother and a good friend.
It's always hard for me to leave the backcountry of Alaska. And there's something special about the South Fork camp. I don't know, maybe it's blessed. But as we started our flights back to Port Allsworth and then our journeys home, I instantly started thinking about my return trip to Alaska, my next great adventure. But that's another story for another day and next week's exciting episode of the Adventure Series.